People, good evening. Happy New Year. When do we stop saying that? Is there like a cut-off date? Is it like the end of the month or halfway through? I'm going to give myself until the 10th. After the 10th of January, no more Happy New Years from me. All right, don't forget, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget as well to like and share the vids. I don't know if there's anything to talk about, but you know what? We were here. I just finished filming the DAZN boxing show. So I thought, you know what? Whilst we're here, let's see if there's anything to talk about. All right, what's this one? Can Luis Ortiz still be a factor at heavyweight after stopping Charles Martin? I have now watched the fight. I did a video a couple of days ago. I hadn't watched it then. I've watched it now. And the answer to that question is no. He can't be a factor. Look, I was a massive Luis Ortiz fan. Huge, very high on Luis Ortiz a few years back. In fact, I did a video. One of my first videos on this channel when I was doing it by myself was, I think, the Ortiz-Wilder fight, or the Wilder-Ortiz fight. And I said that Ortiz was going to beat Deontay Wilder. And he was very, very close. He was very, very good then. Very sharp, aggressive, southpaw, obviously. Great boxer. And a lot younger. A lot younger. I still don't know how old he is now. I know a lot of people make jokes of his age. I think he's supposed to be 42. He's a lot older. But look, he can still box. He's still got punching power. I think we all saw it, that punch resistance is gone. I mean, that's what happens when you fight Deontay Wilder twice, unfortunately. But I don't know. I'm not quite sure, man. I'm not quite sure who they match him up with next. There has been a lot of talk about Filip Hrgovic. I know the Sauerlands are trying to push that one. So the winner of it will be mandatory for the IBF belt. Hrgovic would hurt him. I actually think Hrgovic. Don't get me wrong, I think Luis Ortiz will have his spots. But again, look, I mean, Charles Martin put him down with a jab, I think. And didn't look like a powerful one either. So I think the punch resistance gone. He still can crack himself. I think we saw that. By the way, should that fight have been stopped immediately or not? For me, that fight should have been stopped immediately. I know it's difficult for referees to make those split decision things, but Charles Martin froze. He froze. And you're letting him take, what, another 5, 6, maybe 7 or 8 punches. Big punches. I mean, Luis Ortiz can crack. It reminds me a bit of that Terry Harper Baumgardner fight where Harper just froze after getting cracked. She was knocked out, but she didn't go down. And the referee, rightly so, jumped in just before Baumgardner was about to unleash hell. And I thought the referee should have jumped in immediately. Immediately. Like, Charles Martin had no idea where he was. And he's actually lucky that Luis Ortiz didn't land clean. Luis Ortiz landed a couple of shots, but not clean on the button, because it could have been very, very dangerous. But look, back to the question about Luis Ortiz and whether or not he can be a factor. Not for me. Not for me. Again, 4 or 5 years ago, I was very, very high, but I'm not that high anymore on Luis Ortiz. I actually believe 4 or 5 years ago, I know people like Ade, whatever, I really think he could have beaten Dillian Whyte, Anthony Joshua, anyone in the heavyweight division not named Tyson Fury, I thought he could have beaten. And obviously Deontay Wilder. But now that time passed. I don't know. He's too risky as a gatekeeper. So he'll still be in decent fights. I mean, there are some good names for him to kind of match up with. I mean, I know that Sam Jones, when he was working with Joe Joyce, was desperate for the Luis Ortiz fight. And there are others. I mean, Tony Yoka's fighting Martin Bakole in a couple of weeks. I think January 15th or something. Yoka might go for Luis Ortiz after he beats Bakole. I think Yoka beat Bakole, by the way. I don't know if we should do that as a live watch-along. We may. But yeah, Luis Ortiz. You know, Frank Sanchez, by the way, he's not 29 either, by the way. Frank Sanchez is fucking not 29. And this isn't me having a dig at people for their age, but he's not 29. But look, back to Frank Sanchez as a boxer. Slightly disappointed in that performance. Look, he's coming off a very good win against Efe Ajagba. 2 very highly touted prospects going toe-to-toe early. I like that. And he bossed that fight. He really did. Just too good for Efe Ajagba. I expected to see him show that he was a guy knocking on the door as a top 10. He still could be that. But Christian Hamer's, I don't want to say a journeyman. He's a bit better than a journeyman, but Christian Hamer's not that guy, is he? And Christian Hamer took that fight on very, very late notice. Frank Sanchez was supposed to fight someone who pulled out I'm not quite sure. It might have been an injury. I think December 21st. So Christian Hamer had 10 days to get ready for that fight. Hence why the fight wasn't going to be sanctioned, by the way. But such as with boxing, the fight got sanctioned. Anyway, so look, he's fighting a Christian Hamer who, I don't know if it was in fighting shape, and it's going all the way to 10. I mean, that's the kind of fight where you like to see Frank Sanchez really put it on Hamer. Like, put it on him, not these little 15, 10-second bursts that he did in the fight. Like, really put it on him, make a statement, stop him, and then move on. I think, not that his stocks dropped after the FA Jagba fight, but again, I wanted him to make a statement after the FA Jagba, bust through Christian Hamer, and then call out anyone. He's got a problem, Frank Sanchez, in the sense that he's a very, very good fighter. Very good. Trust me, you watch him, he's a very, very good fighter. Very slick. Can box off the ropes, can do a bit of everything, Frank Sanchez. But he's boring. He's boring. He really is. So he's not a guy that's going to put bombs on seats. So look, we'll see what he does, but he should be stopping Christian Hamer. He really should be stopping him and then moving on to some big fights in 2022. He'll still get good fights, but I don't think he'll get big fights. Like, I could see him now, after that performance, getting Hellenius or someone, which is good. But yeah, I think they're expecting bigger things from Frank Sanchez in 2022. So look, we'll see. Another person on that card to kind of keep an eye on, for 2022 is Frank Martin, a lightweight southpaw who looks like he's got a bit of power and pop to him, in the same camp as Errol Spence. Look, the lightweight division's already sort of a big division, and now I guess he's not with the top guys, but he's he's fast catching them. I think he's taken his record now to 15-0, and I thought it was a good stoppage as well. That shot that hurt that kid in the first knockdown, put it that way, was brutal power and speed. Like the way in which he just closed the distance, it came so quick. And then I think it was the right stoppage. The ref's trying to kill these fighters or something. Like, the ref was willing to let the fight go on. I don't know if you guys have seen it. If you haven't, go on to PBC's YouTube channel PBC's YouTube channel, and you'll see highlights of it. The guy's done. I mean, he does well to get up, but he's done. It was only the corner like, okay, let's call this off and let this guy live for another day. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Frank Martin in the next 12 to 18 months. Let's see how he positions himself in what is a very, very deep lightweight division. We'll see. Look, maybe, I don't know, like, he'll be looking at someone like a Richard Comey. I still think there's a lot left in Richard Comey, by the way, but he'll be looking at someone like that, because you beat someone like that and then, you're there, aren't you? You're there. Richard Comey's a top 7, 8 lightweight. You beat someone like a Richard Comey and then your name's in the mix. So we'll see what happens with him. Filip Hrgovic here saying to Luis Ortiz, you will freeze from my punches. We'll see. As much as I'm very, very high on Filip Hrgovic, you guys probably saw my fights that I want in 2022, and I said I'd like to see Hrgovic versus Joe Joyce. You look at Hrgovic's record, he still hasn't fought anyone. I mean, he hasn't fought anyone. That's just fact. So as much as I think Hrgovic is fucking Dolph Lundgren from Rocky IV, I still don't. I need to see him in with someone. I mean, Ortiz could starch Hrgovic, Like, he could knock him out. Ortiz has got that kind of power. Don't get me wrong, if I was to put money on someone, it would be Hrgovic. But all I'm saying is, as high as people are with Hrgovic, we've got to see him in with someone first. Like, I mean, that's just how it works, isn't it? What have you done for me lately? Let me look at Hrgovic's record. Am I missing someone on this record? I mean, I was there when he fought Eric Molina, December 2019. So again, look, maybe I'm wrong here, but let's have a look. Let's go. When did he really start becoming someone? Okay, the Amir Mansour fight, 2018. Amir Mansour, Kevin Johnson, Gregory Corbin's a decent win. Mario Heredia, Eric Molina, Alexander Kartozia, Rydell Booker, Marko Randoncic, and Emir Akhmatovic. What are we saying? What are we saying, people? I mean, again, don't get me wrong, I'm not blind. I can see he's a good fighter. Very, very good fighter, but let's see him in with someone, please. All right, what we got here? Where are we? Sorry, I just skipped a bit here. Spence Ugas confirmed plans for springtime WBC, WBA, IBF welterweight unification fight. Okay. Look, it will be a good fight. It'll be a good fight. Spence, I think, will beat Ugas, but Ugas is a good fighter. I mean, a lot of people thought he beat Sean Porter. I don't know if you could score it for him when he fought Sean. He obviously beat Pacquiao. I mean, he deserves to be in this position. And this isn't anything against him. It's just, I don't want to see this fight. I want to see Spence Crawford, for fuck's sake. Am I asking for too much here? Like, what really is going on with this Spence Crawford thing? I feel like I just don't have, and I don't have a clue as to what's happening here. Like, why aren't they making this fight? I mean, you know, before, and even though this is an excuse, but before the excuse was, okay, Terence Crawford's on that side of the road. That was it, right? He's with Top Rank and ESPN. We can't do these fights. You know, ESPN Top Rank aren't working with PBC and all that shit. We heard it. And okay, cool. He's not with them anymore. He's not with them. What is it? Is it money? I mean, is Crawford asking for too much? It does seem like Crawford's the one that's wanting this fight more than Spence. And this isn't me saying Spence is ducking Crawford, because I don't think Spence is that way at all. I think Spence will fight Crawford, but it just looks like there's one that seems to call for it and want it more than the other. That's the way it seems to me. If it's down to money and splits, and because a lot of people have said things like, okay, yeah, but you know, when Spence beats Ugas, then it's the fight to make and it will happen. If Spence beats Ugas and gets another belt, so he'll be adding the WBA to what he's already got. If you thought it was difficult to make them fight before on splits, how difficult is it going to be then? Spence is going to come to the table. Look, Spence is coming to the table now with 2 belts. Or when we believe they had a conversation, I'm not quite sure, but Spence came back then with 2 belts. Spence will now come Spence will come with 3 belts. And higher pay-per-view numbers. And he's going to ask for way more. Like before, if it was a 60-40 split, I don't think it was ever that, but if it was in Spence's favour, Spence is going to say some madness like 75-25. He's going to say a madness. So it's just like, it's just so disappointing. It really is so disappointing. Terence Crawford's 34, I believe. Errol Spence, I think, struggles to make the 147-pound division. Like, nothing would shock me if Errol Spence were to beat Ugas and go up. It wouldn't shock me, it really wouldn't, and make a play for that, because I think part of the only reason he's not gone up, I mean, he would have gone up earlier, I think, if it wasn't for the accident, because I think he would have had enough fights in between. But I think the reason he's not gone up is because of Jamel Charlo. I think Jamel Charlo will fight Castano, win or lose, and go up to 160, and then Spence will attack that division. So I don't know, man. I really don't know, and it's disappointing. It really is, because this is a genuine 50-50 fight. I slightly favour Crawford because I'm a big Crawford fan, but it's a 50-50 fight. It is number 1 versus number 2, however you want to put it. Both of them unbeaten, both world champions. I mean, what is this? And people might say this is the same as Pacquiao Mayweather. It isn't, because Pacquiao Mayweather happened 5 years too late, but there was still so much money on the table because both of them had crazy fan bases, like attracted casuals from all over the globe. Spence Crawford ain't that, unfortunately. They don't have those kind of fan bases. They don't have that kind of numbers. It's a hardcore boxing fans fucking Christmas wish, but that's what it is. It isn't a fight that attracts the casuals. So maybe because of that, there's just not enough money for it to be made. I know that sounds really stupid, but both of them are going to want big money. Both of them are going to want crazy money, people. Crazy money, I think. 10 million each, maybe. Maybe more. There's not that in this fight. There isn't that. I mean, it's a fight that would do, I don't know, man. I keep changing my mind on this. I really don't know. When you see some of the figures, look, I think they'll sell the fight well. I think there'll be like a 24/7 slash thing, and I think both need that, by the way. I think both of them desperately need a 24/7 type series made on them. And I think it could touch 400,000 pay-per-view buys. Could touch that. At what? I don't know. Like, let me get my calculator out. What's this? My maths is shit. I just want to calculate something quickly. No, I'm just going to, like, the very basics of 400,000. What's it going to be? $80? It's not going to be 100 and something. So that is, what's that? My maths is really shit here. Is that 32 million? 32 million in the pot. They could get that then. They could get that. They could get it. They could get 10 each. Maybe they want more than that. I don't know. I don't know, man. But look, I don't know. I just hope it happens. But it's getting to the stage where I think it's more likely not to happen than to happen now. And I think if anyone loses out in this, it's Crawford. I mean, as much as Crawford says he doesn't need Spence, I get it. But Crawford's work at 135 and 140, although, look, won belts there, unified, became undisputed at 140, didn't really fight. It's not his fault. It's how it is. It was whoever's got the belts. But didn't really fight anyone at 140, worthy of sort of mention anyway. He didn't. And at 147, again, unfortunately, the only fight people are now talking about is the Porter fight. No one's really mentioned the Khan, the Brook, the Benavidez, the Kavialaskas. No one's really talking about those. Whereas Spence has done work at 147. Spence came over to fucking the UK and bash up Kell Brook. Bash up Kell Brook, Spence has beat Danny Garcia. Spence has beaten Porter. I believe Spence will beat Ugas. Spence beat Mikey Garcia. Spence has got good work at 147. Crawford needs this fight. Spence will leave the division and people will say, yeah, he didn't fight Crawford, but he'll say, yeah, but I fought. Look at where I fought. Fought some good, even like fights early in his career, like when he beat Bundu and a better version of Chris Algieri. He's got some good, decent wins. Can't believe I just mentioned the Algieri one. Apologies. Francis Ngannou guarantees boxing crossover, wants Wilder or Fury. Man, Francis Ngannou will get iced in boxing. I'm sorry. I mean, he's got power, yeah? And the funny thing is, people that say like Deontay Wilder can't box. Francis Ngannou's hands aren't great at all. I mean, if he catches you, forget it, lights out. Lights out. But he hasn't got great hands. And as big as he is, and he's very, very big, and I'm guessing he has to cut weight to even make the UFC weight limit, he looks like a monster in the UFC. All these guys right now are monsters in boxing. So Ngannou, I'm guessing, is around 6'5". Obviously, the UFC limit is 265. He's a big guy. He's a big lump. They're all big lumps in boxing. They're all big lumps. Like, he's 6'5", 260. Tyson Fury's 6'9". 6'9". AJ is 6'6", 6'7", 260, 270. They're all big lumps. And he has no boxing ability. I'm sorry, I love Francis Ngannou, I do, but he has no boxing ability at all. Man, all these knockouts have come from weird windmills. There's not much technique in there, so he'll get iced. But it looks like he could do that, though. It looks like, I think he will have a boxing match, but not against the top guys, not at all. All right, what else have we got very quickly? Katie Taylor admires Shields' MMA risk. Hope she now just focuses on boxing. Let's hope so. Although she's very upset right now. Obviously, her fights are getting delayed. She was supposed to fight in Wells on the undercard of Liam Williams, Eubank. That's now been pushed back. It was pushed back to January. Now been cancelled, obviously, because there's no fights over in January. It's now in February. Fingers crossed it happened. She's a bit upset about that. These are the reasons why she goes to MMA, because she just wants to fight. She just wants to have fights. She doesn't want all these delays and not getting paid. So we'll see. I think it's getting to the stage where they might just go straight in with the Savannah Marshall fight. If there's another delay in February, then I think she'll go straight in. I don't think what they're trying to do is sell them both. They were supposed to be on the same card in December. And that was the idea of they both on the same card, they win, and then, they probably do a face-to-face in the ring and you sell it, blah, blah, blah. It's just not working out that way. It isn't. Going back to the Crawford-Spence thing, again, that's another reason why I'm like, what's going on? Spence was at the Crawford fight. Spence then walked out after the decision, just walked out. And I'm thinking, if you really, really want the Crawford fight, as much as you kind of indicate you do want it, you don't walk out. You walk to the ring. You go that way, you go that way. And people might say, yeah, they're not going to let him in the ring. They'll fucking let him in the ring. Come on, man. This is Errol Spence. They'll let him in the ring. They'll let him do something. Or you create some sort of melee ringside. You do something if you really want it. Doesn't want it, man. Doesn't want it. Lee Wood. Conlon makes a lot of mistakes. I'll have big advantage in size and power. Yeah, I'm with Lee Wood on this one, by the way. I think Lee Wood beats Conlon. I'm still not convinced with Conlon, if I'm honest with you. Lee Wood, caused one of the biggest upsets. No one really talks about this, but he beat Zhu Can. Or is it Can Zhu? What do you guys say? That was considered a big upset at the time, He's very confident now. He is very, very big at the weight as well. We'll see. I think it's a good fight. The fight will be in Leewood's hometown as well. It's in Nottingham. That might play in his favour. Sometimes it goes against you, by the way. Home pressure goes against you, but I think it will be for him. Yeah, it's weird how his life has just turned around, but good luck to him. Canelo, Frank Sanchez will be world champion. He's a special talent. We'll see. Not quite sure. Luis Ortiz, they say I was old, that Martin would beat me. I'll be here for a while. Did you see Martin in the post-fight press conference still calling that AJ? Saying, I want AJ, I want AJ. It's a shame, man. It's a shame. He was so close to getting a really good win. Probably his best. Yeah, no doubt it would have been his best win. And in the end, got caught. Man, got caught by that fucking Cuban southpaw that can detonate. All right, anything else? What's this bit here? Chael Sonnen. Boxers are jealous of Jake Paul. Should learn self-promotion from him. I don't think they're jealous of him at all. I think boxers are just asking him to fight a boxer. It's not much, is it? You're in a boxing ring. Can you fight someone that actually boxes? That would be nice. I mean, I'm not fooled by Ben Askren and the former, was it Nate Robinson, the former NBA dunk champion, and Tyron Woodley. I mean, you know, the problem is what it does do. A lot of non-boxing fans are super impressed by these stuff. I'm not that impressed. Tommy Fury knockout would have been super impressive. I would have given props for that. But yeah, I'm not impressed by him at all. Fight a fucking boxer. This guy's been boxing now for about 3-4 years, you know, training with boxers, sparring boxers. You can at least fight a boxer now. Tommy Fury, I think, it's a fair fight. Let's see how that one plays out. Wilder's coach, Joshua, I'm guessing this is Malik Scott. Anthony Joshua needs to impose himself, but Usyk may just have his number. That's kind of what it could be. We'll end on that one, actually. That could be what it is. I mean, Usyk could just, you know, for as much as people are saying things like, and I said it, AJ, put it on him, get big, get strong, you know, rush him. Usyk is just a better boxer. And this, the last time I checked, is boxing. He's just a better boxer. And Usyk ain't that small either. People act like Usyk's fucking 14 stone. Usyk's a big guy, you know. I mean, AJ didn't tower over him at the weigh-in. It wasn't like fucking David versus Goliath, was it? I don't know what AJ can do, to be fair. I mean, there's been clips going around. I think Rob Tebbett put a couple of clips up of the third round where Usyk just lands clean on him. And, you know, I think once you don't trust your chin and you maybe don't have that movement, then it's going to be difficult. Like Fury, I think, trusts his own ability to absorb punches to the point where he will just rush Usyk. And Fury is the only boxer in the heavyweight division, Luis Ortiz when he was a bit younger, but Fury's the only boxer that could actually have a boxing match, if that makes any sense. Almost like a fucking chess match with Usyk. He won't. He would run straight towards him. He will say, I trust my ability to take your punches. Can you take mine? Can you handle my weight on your weight? And yeah, AJ can't do that. AJ can't do that. So AJ is trying to almost have a boxing match with him because AJ, unfortunately, doesn't trust his ability, I don't think anyway, to kind of take a punch. It doesn't, you know, and if you don't trust your ability to do that, then, you know, you're going to stand off and almost have a fucking boxing match and you're going to lose that. You're going to lose. All right, guys, I want to go home. I want to watch the darts final. Michael Smith versus, who is it? Who is he? Is it? It's right, isn't it? Snakebite Riot. I want to go and watch it anyway. Peace.